Hello, and welcome to Mad About Sports for this live stream. And obviously, we are here to talk about the IPL, which is ongoing. We're going to be talking about the playoff scenario. But before we get into today's video, do not forget to like and also subscribe to our channel, and also check out our course with Mad About Sports. If you're new here, remember that we run courses on cricket analytics, and you can fill in the Google form, which is in the link in the description. Our team will get in touch with you. Remember, guys, there's a lot of scope and openings in the field of cricket analytics because it's a big boom, you can say so, in terms of analytics, and you making a favorite IPL franchise as a cricket analyst or even a sports media company calling shots in terms of providing and how to break down data, etc. So, without wasting any time, let's get into the live stream. Now, as you all know, today it's about understanding what this game holds because it's a big game. LSG versus DC. That is a massive game which we have on our hands. Remember, LSG are coming off a thrashing that they received against the Sunrisers Hyderabad. You saw a lot of visuals come out of it post game more than on the game because the talk of the town was not what happened in the game, but talk of the town was what happened post game with Sanjeev Goenka and also KL Rahul. So that was a big deal. One of the visuals we got to see was a little bit of a chatter between the both. And after that, obviously, it's not been a great run for LSG. It's been a very inconsistent run for the LSG team, but still, the hopes are in their hands. Let's be honest about it because LSG, if they have to qualify, they have to win tonight, and it's a must-win game for them. But for DC as well, tonight will be a last hurrah. I mean, they might give a whole shot for today and hope that the net run rate really improves. But having said that, tonight's game is not just about these teams, right? There are two other teams who are going to have a close eye for tonight's game. That is CSK and RCB are going to watch tonight's game very closely. Why you say that? Because number one, if LSG lose today, they can be stuck on 14. And if LSG gets stuck on 14, what that's going to do is Tanuj Technical says, hi Tanuj, I hope you're doing good. But yeah, if LSG can get stuck on 14, anyways, the net run rate is not going to go up by zero point 0.8 in a game. They have to win by a margin of 200 odd runs, which is not quite possible in cricket. Let's be practical here. So, if LSG gets stuck on 14, it's great news for RCB and CSK. But on the other end of the spectrum, if LSG win today, then they'll have to move their hopes to Mumbai Indians 2 days later when MI take on LSG at Wankhede. LSG वर्सेस DC कौन जीतेगी? काफी खतरनाक और काफी टक्कर का गेम हो सकता है क्योंकि पहली बात एक एक तरफ देखिएगा तो आज ऋषभ पंत भी वापस आ रहा है। वो जो बैन मिले थे उसको पिछले मैच में चिन्ह स्वामी में, उसके बाद आज ऋषभ पंत वापस आ रहा है और उसके साथ साथ एलएसडी के साइड से आप देखिएगा तो थोड़ा बहुत रिफ्ट था ओनर और केएल राहुल के बीच और शायद खत्म हो गया है। आज एक फोटो भी आया है सोशल मीडिया में जैसे कि संजीव गोयनका और केएल राहुल एक साथ गले मिल रहे थे, तो इसे इसका मतलब क्या है कि they have talked it out, it's all good and well in LSG camp, पर क्या हो सकता है क्योंकि पिछले मैच आप देखेगा तो कुछ 170 के आसपास बने थे इन लोग 165 I'm not wrong, that's all what they made, and Sunrisers Hyderabad chased it down 9.4 overs, which was extremely power packed from the Sunrisers Hyderabad. That performance was 1-2, remember, but उसके बाद जो हुआ आप देखिएगा तो पिछले कल का एक फोटो भी आया था कि जैसे कि संजीव गोयनकर केरला ने सब कुछ बात करके खत्म किया है। पता नहीं इसके इसके रिजल्ट के ऊपर निर्भर करेगा कि क्या हो सकता है एलएसजी के ऊपर, क्योंकि शायद दिल्ली जीत सकता है। दिल्ली के ऊपर ज़्यादा क्या बोलता है, दिल्ली ज़्यादा स्ट्रॉन्ग लग रहा है। टॉस के बारे में बहुत बात करें तो टॉस जीत के चेसिंग करना चाहूँगा दोनों टीम्स, क्योंकि the match is going to be one where both the teams would want to chase, especially in a ground. And understanding what Delhi also have fortunes, they have to Arun Jaitley Stadium, small ground, they wouldn't want to defend a total here in this kind of a ground. Though if you want to bat first, you have to score something heavily in excess of 240, 250. Other than that, you will always be in the game in the Arun Jaitley Stadium if you're not batting first, if you're batting second. So that's one thing for sure. Toss जीत के जो भी team toss दीजिए हम लोग बिल्कुल चेस करने की कोशिश करेंगे, और that's one of the reasons why I believe that the captains winning the toss will prefer that way, and especially LSJ. Last match they couldn't defend the total as well, and even if you look at Delhi Capitals now with Rishabh Pant coming back, obviously Rishabh Pant is going to replace Kumar Kushagra in the team. Kumar Kushagra's experiment has been quite a bad one for the Delhi Capitals, but hopefully Rishabh Pant comes back and takes a number 5 spot. On the other end, will Delhi play an overseas spacer or not? There is a possibility. tonight's game, instead of David Warner in the last match, they played with three overseas players and David Warner as the fourth in the impact sub. Tonight, you might see four overseas players. They might go in with a Lizard Williams. There's a high chance because remember, LSG team has got a power pack batting lineup, so you don't want to throw that into a inexperienced Indian bowling attack. Obviously, Rashid Salam bowled extremely well in the last game against RCB in Chinnaswamy, restricting RCB to just 187. But tonight, you want some experience in the bowling attack. They might even go to an Andre Nokia because Andre Nokia's pace can trouble Marcus Stoinis. Maybe try to put him on the back foot and also use Andre Nokia's pace against the likes of Deepak Hooda and Krunal Pandya. These guys also can be put under test. So that's why you think these two teams are going to come up against each other in a very close contest. But when you talk about LSG's bowling lineup, right, Mohsin Khan, they would want him back because you saw that in the last game as well. Their bowling lacked penetration. Krishnappa Gautam is someone who played ahead of Mohsin Khan and he couldn't really deliver much. So tonight they'll be really hoping that the likes of Mohsin Khan returns and maybe test Jake Fraser McGurk with something different because Jake Fraser McGurk is going to hold the key again for Delhi Capitals. If he gets going, obviously you know that Delhi Capitals are going to get off to a flyer, and especially even if they're chasing a total, because they will rely so heavily on Jake Fraser McGurk, and he's been exceptional, right? Let's not talk two ways about it. And KL Rahul on the other end, he has a point to prove. After whatever has happened, you know that he's an Indian international. You know that this guy would want to come out there and show it to the world that, guys, what? Let's put that behind. There's still a lot of time. Two more matches. The qualification holds in my hand. If he goes out there and proves a point to the world, this is going to be KL Rahul's possibly one of the biggest ends. As a captain, as a batter, he has responsibility on his shoulders. And if he can come good, that's going to be a massive, massive one for the LSG team as well. But having said that, can KL Rahul come good is a question. Remember, last game, he played an extremely negative impact knock of 29 of 33 balls, which came under the radar. Obviously, everybody questioned that strike rate, that intent. You can say the pitch was slow, but it's the same ground where SR chased that 160 down in 9.4 overs. Hence, you saw the outrage from the owners and the media on KL Rahul and the LSG team. And tonight, especially, LSG, if they have to qualify tonight, is a knockout game. There is no two ways about it because if they lose tonight, the net run rate is going to go really down and they'll have to win the next game by 250 odd runs. Let's be honest, that's not going to happen. 250 odd runs to win against Mumbai to even just stay in the hunt. See, that ain't going to happen. So let's be very clear. Tonight, LSG, it's a knockout game for them. And for Delhi as well, even to stay in the hunt, even to give themselves a mathematical chance, they'll have to win tonight. And Rishabh Pant is going to be back. Rishabh Pant will be hungry as well on the other end. He missed out on the last game. He was extremely upset, is what we got to know from Akshar Patel, that he wanted to play and that ban of slow over rate really affected him. But tonight, can Rishabh Pant make a statement? Obviously, he's a man for the big occasions. He's a man who steps up in these kind of occasions. Remember, let's look at the matchups which Rishabh will have to face. Rishabh will be facing Krunal Pandya and also someone like a Ravi Bishna, who's not been in the best of form. So Rishabh has some positive matchups in terms of spin there. And Rishabh will be taking on, it will be playing in Firozshah Kotla Stadium, especially in Arun Jaitley Stadium rather, where the boundaries are slightly shorter on the square, and him being a left-hander can use a shorter boundary behind the square as well to best of his effect. So this is going to be a very interesting game in terms of that, how Rishabh Pant and where Rishabh Pant plays. I would ideally like to say Rishabh Pant bat at number 4 because if Rishabh Pant bats number 4, he gets to face more balls. That's always going to be good for Delhi Capitals because it's a game like this where you have your best players up top. And you have a Tristan subs down the order anyways to manage in case you have a bad start. And you have an Akshar Patel as well. So why not you take that extra bit of risk and put Rishabh up top, especially at number 4, even number 3 if need be. So it's upon Rishabh for tonight to really step up. And if they want to go with a very batting heavy team, they can go in with the David Warner and Jake Fraser McGurk and tell them to go all out blazing. Because if they both come good, then what's going to happen is Delhi Capitals are going to have a lot to play with. Because if Delhi Capitals are batting first in this game and Delhi Capitals have to score something really heavy and even to win by a very big margin, they have to score an extra 230 to 240. And remember, Arun Jaitley Stadium has always been flat. Especially this season in the IPL, it has been nothing but extremely flat. And with the smallest square boundaries, you know that this game is going to go down the wire, if at all you know something about it. But having said that, what can we expect out of this kind of a game, right? Let's look at the possibility of other teams qualifying. Now that is where this game becomes even more important for the other games qualifying. Now for CSK and RCB, how can these both teams qualify together? Now that's a very interesting question because uh, a lot of people are saying, okay, if RCB defeats CSK by 18 overs, CSK will be out, and if CSK defeats RCB, RCB are going to be out. Is there a possibility in which these two teams can qualify? Yes, of course they can. Now tonight's game, you would want the likes of, especially you want someone like a Delhi Capitals to win tonight, and tomorrow it's a not a consequential game for both these teams, but the GT versus SRH game is going to be very important in terms of the context of the tournament as well. Because if SRH have to be halted in 4-14, because SRH net run rate and RCB's net run rate isn't a lot different, you know. So if SRH has to be halted at somewhere like at 14, then you need GT to win. And then the LSD was an MI game because LSD should be halted at the place they are right now. So Mumbai, you expect Mumbai to win there. And RCB CSK, you wouldn't want RCB to defeat CSK by more than 18 overs. Even if RCB defeats 19, and then the SRH versus Punjab game, you want Punjab to win. So if these results follow by, then you can see RCB and CSK playing out on a virtual knockout and also a playoff position in the eliminator, which is quite possible. You can see two back-to-back knockout games of RCB and CSK, which will be great for all of the cricket fans. You can see Dhoni and Virat Kohli up against each other. But can that happen or not? We're still unsure about it. What RCB has in their hand is right now hope they win against CSK and by 18 overs. But at the same time, tonight's game is going to be extremely important because if tonight LSG go on to lose, then that game opens up doors for that knockout between CSK and RCB. It all holds aces on this game between DC and LSG because tonight's game is one of the most important games of IPL. And if you look at the qualification race and looking at the mental state both teams are in, DC are coming off a loss, obviously, but LSD are coming off a bigger loss. So you can say in terms of mental factor, obviously LSD is slightly down with all the controversy, all the things which is going against them. They certainly have a point to prove, but whether or not they can prove the point, that only time can tell us, isn't it? So, as you look at the points table as well now here, which is a predicted points table, if the results go as predicted, you can see CSK and RCB at number 3, number 4. Then you can see possibly SR stuck at 14 as well if they want to lose the next game, and also you would want the likes of LSG to lose the next 2 games. So there's a lot of results to go in favor of both their teams if this scenario has to happen, wherein both RCB and CSK qualifies into the playoffs, and they both could be meeting in an eliminate in the Ahmedabad Stadium. But otherwise, if LSG go on to lose today and SRs go on to win, then there's only one winner who can take the 4th position. That's going to be either CSK or RCB. And for RCB, obviously they'll have to win in 18.1 overs or by 18 runs on the 18th of May. So that's how it is. It's all the number game of 18 for the RCB. Can the number 18, that is Virat Kohli, do it for them is the question. Because remember, on 18th of May, Virat Kohli, in the last 2 editions, he's already scored 100. So he loves batting on the 18th of May as well. So, and RCB has never lost a game on the 18th of May for the last decade or so. So good things for RCB, but will rain play a spoil sport? Only time can tell us, because that's going to be a massive, massive factor for that game, whether rain is going to play a spoil sport. Do let us know in the comments if RCB is qualifying or CSK or both. Let us know, because it's going to be an exciting time for the IPL, especially the back end, right? But let's look at where the points table stands as of now, because that's going to explain a lot of things in terms of where teams stand. Now you can see the points table on your screen right now. At number 1, you have the KKR team, who is fixed the number 1, number 2 position, so they're not coming down into number 3, number 4. They are the first team to qualify into the IPL knockouts, and to add to that, they're the first team to secure a number 1, number 2 position. Rajasthan Royals, who's had a phenomenal run in the IPL, has got a speed break, you can say. 3 reds you can see on the right hand side, 3 losses in a row. The recent loss against Chennai at Chepauk has not really helped their case, and now there's a scenario where they might not even get the top 2 position. So that's a hard thing if you're a Rajasthan Royals fan, because you were expected to qualify 2 weeks prior to even the IPL was even culminating its group stage. But here it's a position where Rajasthan Royals' playoff position is still not secured. I still think Rajasthan Royals will secure a playoff position, but if them not getting top 2 will be a disappointment, because if you get top 2, you always have that extra bit of chance. You can say an extra bite at the cherry, as they call it in the cricket phrase. But you would want that extra mark, extra time, because you don't want to mess it up. If you mess it up once in the eliminator, you're knocked out. But if you mess it up once in qualifier 1, you still have one more chance to make it to the final. So That's where Rajasthan will also be extremely varied. But for KKR, Rajasthan, RCB, CSK, they're going to miss out on the England superstars. Remember, especially for the KKR team, Phil Salt is going to be a huge miss for this team. And for someone like a team like Rajasthan Royals, Josh Butler, though he has had the greatest of seasons, but his experience, he's a big match player. You would miss him in this kind of a stage. So Josh Butler not being there is going to be a massive blow for the Rajasthan Royals and for RCB Will Jacks and for CSK Moeen Ali, because for these RCB and for CSK Moeen Ali and Will Jacks are two impact players who can come in good, who can do the bits and pieces job. Especially Will Jacks has been a batting revelation for RCB, so they're going to miss him, and for CSK Moeen Ali as well. So big misses on the other end. But can things turn around well for them? Only time can tell, because his English stars have been, such imminent part of their respective franchises. But SRH is one team who's definitely not affected by any of them, because their team is majorly built with South Africans and Australians, and they are still part of the IPL. So they are not certainly going to miss out anybody out there. But certainly, speaking about which, RCB and RCB, RR, and KK are going to miss, and even CSK for that matter, are going to miss some big English players, and that's going to be a massive blow for them going ahead. But if you look at tonight's game, if DC wins today, if they have to win by an extremely high margin, which is, I'm supposing, close to 150 odd runs. If you look right now, they're at minus 4.52. That's a negative rate. If they have to get to plus 4.52, that is, they have to win close to 100 runs. Let's say close to 100, runs against the Lucknow Super Giants, even for them to give a shout for the number fourth position and to stay in the hunt in and to stay alive for another day in the IPL, rather, I would say so. But can they do it or not? Nah, it's really, really tough times here whether to say that they're going to do it or not. But if they don't do it, it's going to be really hard, because then LSG are definitely going to overtake. And I think LSG are going to go to number 5 in the table, and they're going to topple over RCB. And RCB are going to go to number 6. But LSG will have another chance, and that'll be against Mumbai Indians to actually even to give a chance in the playoff. Because if LSU win the next two games, then the CSK or the RCB game, only one winner can go ahead, provided SRH also win. If SRH lose the next two games, then there's another possibility. So it's a lot of possibility, permutations and combinations at this point to stage in the IPL. You're still not sure who's going to qualify. But guys, what do you guys reckon about who's going to qualify? Because given your top four, remember we've been giving different top fours. Remember 2 3 weeks ago, actually 2 weeks ago rather, we were on the stream. I was with Antariksh here, and we had a question from one of the viewers asking whether RCB can qualify. And we laughed it off, right? We laughed it off quite conveniently. We were like, let's not jump the gun. It's a long way away. But RCB has had its own way of answering the critics in winning 5 games in a row. Now, they won 5 games in a row in previous of their 3 editions. That was 2009 where they made the final, 2011 where they made the final, and 2016 where they made the final as well. So once again, they won 5 games in a row. Can they make it to the playoffs? Then we'll talk about the final later. So first step for RCB is to hope the result goes their way. And number two, rain doesn't play a spoil sport, and then win the game in 18 overs. So few things have to fall in RCB's hand for RCB to even qualify. Remember, 18 overs to chase a total down, it's quite possible. Let's not forget that. Remember, CSK do not have their strongest bowling attack at this point. There's no Patirana, there's no Deepak Chai, there's no Mustafiz who troubled RCB in the first game. So this is going to be really effectively, you can say, that's going to play into RCB's hand. But whether or not RCB and CSK can qualify together, that can only open up if SRH lose their next 2 games, and provided also LSD lose their next 2 games. So that's a big if and but in that. But we're still far away from making a judgment on that, as I would like to repeat. So now, if you look at the bottom of the table, MI, GT, and also Punjab, who are missing out on the screen, are eliminated at this point. Stands eliminated from the IPL of 2024. You can say all of them have had a rather very poor IPL. Mumbai Indians, especially 9 losses. They'll manage to get at max 10 points if they win against LSG. And Punjab Kings, on the other hand, extremely poor, you can say, has had a very mediocre IPL in terms of their kind of game. And you can say on the other end, Gujarat Titans, they'll be hardened by the result yesterday because of the game being rained out. They believe if they would have won a couple of games here or there, they could have possibly made it to the playoffs. But it wasn't to be, right. They couldn't make it to the playoff primarily because they were not consistent enough in the group stage, and which certainly meant they were going to miss out on the playoff position. But sorry, just had a camera drop there. But uh, nonetheless, especially if you're talking about these pole positions which has to be taken, it's now between six teams effectively. I wouldn't say even Delhi Capitals, as I mentioned, to win by 150 runs tonight is a very hard possibility. But in cricket, anything is possible. Can they score 300 tonight? Yes, it is a possibility. Can they chase down any total in 5 overs? It's like LSG having a batting collapse and Delhi Capitals chasing it down, like what Sunrisers Hyderabad did, right? So that's a possibility as well, a mere possibility. But let's not write anything off. But effectively, you can say on all practical sense, only six teams are in contention, and the six teams definitely after tonight's game it's going to be definitely six. So six teams, that is LSG, RCB, SRH, CSK, and KK has already qualified. So five teams in contention for three positions. So you can let us know in the comments who are the 43 more teams who will qualify into the playoffs, because the door is open. We've got 4 more days of IPL left, and it's going to be intensifying with every game that we're going to witness, because on one end you have the CSK RCB rivalry. Possibly it could be Mahendra Singh Dhoni's last game. Now who knows? Is Chinnaswamy MS Dhoni's last game, or is it going to be Chepauk? So the Chennai fans will be hoping it's Chepauk because they would want to give farewell to MS Dhoni there. But the RCB fans would want to give farewell to MS Dhoni in the Chinnaswamy. So only time can tell. Let us know whether it's going to be the Chinnaswamy or the Chidambaram Stadium in Chepauk, which is going to be MS Dhoni's last game. There was a heated rivalry. There's a lot of internet talks. Everybody's eyes will be glued on to tonight's game. There's LSG versus DC, and especially two fan bases will be supporting for the DC team. So that's about it from us on the Matter About Sports with tonight's live stream. Thank you for joining us once again. If you really did like this video, don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel, and also share this video with as many people as possible. That really helps us with the algorithm. And once again, I remind you all to check out our course with Matter About Sports on cricket analytics, because we cater you with the best course available for cricket analytics, and you can have a stepping stone at a very cheap rate, and you can learn more about cricket analytics without having any prior knowledge, and you can make a career in cricket analytics. You can work with your favorite IPL team or your favorite sporting team. So do not miss out on this opportunity. Have a good time, all of you, and see you all soon. Bye bye.